Alright, so this is my deck that I won with 4th place today. Didn't do great, but it still did amazing things. This is Orcust Ogdoadic, because they both work really well in the graveyard. So I traded today for a Starlight. 3 Mech Knight, the Orcust Ogdoadic, who's just foolish, summon a token, turns into a tuner. Crazy things as well. You could summon House with this if you really wanted to for some reason. 2 Orcust Nightmare, because I somehow took out the 3rd one to get the engine going. World Legacy World 1 to summon back him to continue your plays. Symbol Skeleton to summon back Dingirsu or continue into more extenders with your Nightmare after he's in the grave. Have the 3 of each. Scrap Recycler and Scrap Raptor just to make sure the normal summons are on point, so you have at least something you can do with the deck. Then we get into the Ogdoadics. We have 2 Nauyas and 2 Nunus. Nauya says discard, send any light reptile from deck to grave. Nunu says the same thing, but darks. However, Nunu, if you control no monsters or at least 1 Ogdoadic, special summon it by banish when it leaves the field. This is when it's special summon, add a Ogdoadic spell or trap from your deck to your hand.
What's the combo line here?
Nunu comes into play. Kier's comes into play, tributes it. He summons back Nauya, and Nauya says you gotta go search out your Ogdoadic spell. Then when you're done with Nauya, you just summon Aliert, who then says you get to put back the 2 banished reptiles that just left the field back into your graveyard. So it's like you didn't even use them. We have 1 of each of Zona, Ogdoadibus, and Amnesia, who are all decently good. Ogdoadibus just being really good if you can get him out. He's just a once per turn Zeus that doesn't need materials and only affects monsters that aren't special summoned from the grave. She can summon him, also make your opponent send a monster your opponent summons from the graveyard to the field, and he's just a search and can be recycled back to your hand. He also helps you discard your Orcust if they're in your hand. We have the only 3 hand traps in the deck of Ash Blossom, to make sure at least some interruption is happening at some point. Automatic Water Lily is dump 1 reptile, and if you have 5 or more differently named ones, special summon 1 of them to the field, which can immediately summon your big boy, which is always nice to see that happen. Then the best reprint that ever came out in Ancient Guardians, Snake Rain. Discard 1, drop 4. Dragonling wishes they could do that, because that would be ridiculous.
Oh, I have it.
1 of each. Orchestrated Babble, Orchestrated Return. 2 Allures for the draw. Harpy's Feather Duster in case you get stuck second and you somehow manage to draw it. Foolish Burial. Called by the Grave. Starter. Stops Ash. A single Crackdown, which actually came up more times than I thought it would today. Orcust Crescendo for the single negate. And of course, the Dragoon package, because you can play that in this. The extra deck is pretty simple, since I did not have enough copies of many things. 1 Galatea, 1 Anaconda, 1 Boral Sword, 1 Dragoon, Ding, Bardiche, Mechaba, Appaloosa, Hope Harbinger, IP, Second Ding, Nightmare Phoenix, Nightmare Unicorn, Nightmare Cerberus, and Longyearbyen. Now the only reason that this are in here is for the side deck, because I had no other cards I could actually fit inside of this deck at the point that would make sense. And that is just solely because in the side deck, 3 Ghost Reapers, call Dragoon, call Bardiche, call Mechaba, you're safe. Pankratops, DD Crow, Nibiru, Dark Ruler. We got Godarla to out the Wind Barrier lock, and the Skullmeisters for anything in between.
And then the white guy.